Okay, this is gonna be a like 2 parts, probably not like a 2-part series, but 2 parts. Let me turn my camera around so I can see what I'm showing you guys. This is just a standard PS4 controller using standard parts. Just a cheap little screwdriver set. Everyone's probably got them. I rebuilt one of these. The only thing I haven't did is your analogs, which I'm going to be doing one of them soon for a buddy. But I want to make sure I could do it. I got all my parts off of Amazon. You can rebuild these controllers, 2 of them, for like 20 couple bucks. Alright, that's your analog. That actually gets soldered to the board. But as you can see, it goes up, down, back. So that's your new analog. I haven't did them, but I have changed all the rubbers on one, and it does work. It is not that difficult. If you're not mechanically inclined, you can still do this if you take your time. Take your time. Watch what you take apart. Here's a factory, like a circuit board, but it's a flexible circuit board. That's a factory one. Now I had to order another one. You get these in 2-packs. Well, you see how thin they are. That's a replacement. Now don't get scared if it's not looking exactly right. Just got to make sure you put the circle over circle, a little weird triangle and triangle, and you put it the right way. On here, one side you'll see a little darker and the other side you won't. So you got to make sure when you put this together, or you just match it up, that it looks the same. Alright, here we go. I actually might take this controller and paint it. Just a standard Phillips head. There's 4 screws in it, and you got to be very, very careful. They got little springs in there. I ordered new ones because I lost it. I never knew that. And I learned this off of you guys on YouTube. Just carefully make sure you have a tray or something like this. If you got a big tray, you ain't worried about it, paint it white. Well, I say you paint it white. This old Pepsi tray, everything that you put on there is really going to show up if it's white. I'm going to go ahead and take this little rubber. It's been falling apart. This screwdriver set is probably 15-16 years old. Still does the job. I lost one of them, but and you can actually, if your battery even dies, I'll show you that in a minute. Say you got one that's got a bad battery, you can put batteries in these. Alright, got all the screws out. Now what you're going to do is, right here in the seam, you're going to gently try to pull apart, like that. If you squeeze and pull a little bit, it'll come. Then you got your buttons sticking. So if you push your bottom shoot buttons or whatever, usually you can get that. If you jiggle it, you can get them to come out. And you see me, I haven't had this in a part yet. Alright. Now, first thing I would do, if it's me, gently grab your battery and pop that out. That way, if you pull in wires out and battery's still hooked up, it ain't gonna short circuit in. And then you have a little blue tab here, and if you grab it with your fingers and just gently wiggle that and pull, that takes your backside apart. Now, if I paint this, I could tape this up and tape this up right here and tape the port, and I'd be fine. A lot of people actually take this apart. I don't think you need to if you tape it up. And then you'll have a little black piece. If you grab it top and bottom, thumb in one of your fingers, or however you can do it, and gently wiggle and jiggle that a little bit, it should pop off. The other one did. This one's actually sticking. The other controller I had, it came right out. And that's what you guys said to do. Well, anyway, we might not take that out. In between here, the black, right? You've got a square and a circle, or a rectangle and a circle. Then you have like a little rectangle and another, or another square and square will be on, if you're looking at it, your left side. There's a screw in there. You're going to need to undo that screw. And that's going to pull this whole piece out. If you just jiggle a little bit and it should come out. But you're gonna want to be careful here, because there's a blue ribbon which this ain't coming off. But we're gonna set that screw back in there. And when you start putting it back together, if you can't turn that in like this, barely with your fingers, it seems too hard, you don't do it. It means it's cross-threading. Let me get my reading glasses on and see what's holding that up. And I'll use my phone for the battery. I was hoping I could take that apart without doing this and show you. There's flashlight. Alright, see, some of you guys didn't save this on the internet here. I'm going to take my smallest screwdriver. Don't pry on this board. You pry on that board and break that board, it's no good. There's little clips on the top here that's holding that on. Right there it is. So just take a screwdriver gently. Small. Look how small that is. A needle. Set it in there and push out a little bit. And that comes right off. Alright. Now, on this, if you got fingernails, I would recommend try to do it with your fingernails. Because I see some people taking screwdrivers and pushing on this and stuff. But if you break it, you're done. Right here, this one's actually black with a white. Trying to show you. Well, give me 1 second, guys. Here, turn that light off. This one's actually a black with a white, but you'll see the little blue tab here. What you want to do is take your fingernail or whatever and pull that white tab or whatever color it is up. I don't know if you can see that, but it actually popped up. And then you'll be able to pull that blue tab out. And then when you put it back in, you'll put it in and you'll gently snap that back. Alright. Let's take that screw out. Now these screws might be all the same, but I'm keeping them separate so I know for myself. Now there is a lot of stuff underneath here. These four screws went to the outside. This one on the middle. This is where all your buttons and stuff are going to be. You can actually, if you want to, if you're going to change it all, you can go in here and gently snap these apart. If you'll see, they have a little like a C, and it snaps in there, and they just pop out. And right there's one of the springs I was telling you. Remember? I don't know how good you're seeing that on my finger. That spring just flew out of there. Should have had one on the other side, but it might, or maybe when I took it apart. There it is. There's two springs. You don't want to lose them. They do make them. You can buy them. But what sense to buy something if you don't have to? Now this is where it gets a little tricky for me. You got all this apart. You can change all this right here in there, like pretty easy. I'm going to gently try to, there it is, got it. And there it is. That's all it is to it. And you can change that. I'm going to show you how to change these right now. Now, this is where I made my mistake. That's what I told you. On my channel, if I make a mistake, I'm not taking it out. I didn't change these. But these are, this is a silicone, but it's a rubber. I got lucky that mine were still in good condition because you don't use them that much. But these are the ones that you're going to be concerned about changing them. Before, don't tear them apart. You can take your screen out if you want. Just flip it over. Be careful. These are just, they'll pop right out. But what you want to do, you don't want to pop them both out. Pop one side out at a time. See that one? Then you're going to get the one that matches to it. Make sure that you're putting it in the exact same way that you took it out. And like that. If it doesn't seem like it's fitting, just barely press on it. This one right here, the middle, is going to have two tabs. And this one's got an actual little lip on it. So you want to take that lip the same way it came off. Make sure that lip goes up. Whatever you took off, which way you took it off, make sure you put it back that way. Then put your old ones, put them over somewhere, because you don't want to put them down and grab an old one and put it back in. Alright, I got that. This is probably going to be a one-part see. I was going to paint this because I want to see about painting. I might rebuild another one later, or because you can find these controllers. They're $65 right now. You can find them on the internet. People sell them for $10, $15. Put $20 in it, like a brand new controller, they do fall out, so you got to watch it on them. And what these are your main menu buttons or something my buddy was telling me. And you got to make sure when you do that, they go back in right. Alright, I got them buttons replaced. Now, I'm going to come over to here, because this is where I screwed up last time, and then change it. But, before I even do that, I'm going to show you something. You got to come into here, and very gently, I mean gently, because it doesn't matter about this board, because we're replacing that. But you want to gently take this in here, and pull on this board. It's on 2 tabs. If you can get it with your fingernails and fingers at first, do that. And you see it. I didn't set nothing up beforehand, and you push it through. And however you take it apart, remember, put it back together the exact same way. So when I set this down, I'm going to set it down that way. Alright, now we got to go back to these. We got to pop these apart. And you got to look, see which way they come apart. Because you just don't want to start jerking on it and break them. And another good thing to do, which I didn't do on there, is to make sure you put them each one where the side it goes. This one's actually sticking. There it is, I got it. Now under here you'll have, that's where these tabs are going to go. And these got a lip to them too. Lip goes on the bottom here. Pick that up, pick that up. And then you should be able to get in here, push this through, and start working your way. This is just stuck on there a little bit. Clips. Gently pull it up, and it comes off. Set it down the way I just did it. That's why I recommend. Set it down that way. And you can see that this one is different from this one. This might have been a rebuilt controller. That one looks something like this green. That's a Sony, this is a Sony. These are Amazon. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and peel these off. I'm going to do one at a time. Don't be in a rush. I'm going to put the old ones over there. These buttons are facing backwards. What I mean, when you pull this off, the nub is sticking down. You want to make sure that's all down. That's done. Now, this is our control. You want to call it the control. Get that down there. That's the way you took it off. It was facing that way. So if I look this up, you don't put these on yet. Now I am going to match this. Now this has 2 circles. This one, that one was different. Alright, here's the here's how I can tell the difference, and I'll let you know. If I put that way, you might think it's right, but if you turn it this way, gently pick this up. This one over here has 2 lines. 1 line. Pick up your new one. You can't see it on this side that great. Make sure your 2 lines are facing that way. You're going to slide this in. Now, you might get a little frustrated here because this is very, very tricky to some people, even me, and I've worked on a lot of stuff. There you go. Try to put that side in first, because you got to put all, while you're doing this, you got to get all the tabs where they belong. And then when you go to put it back together, oh man, it's even more fun. Alright. Now I'm going to make sure it's over the little square. I'm holding that with getting that tab on. There should be a tab down here in the corner. I can feel it. I got that tab on. There's a post here and a tab over here. If you don't have these on, your controller's probably not going to act right. I can't really say that. Now these, you can't just push down. You actually got to bend this up carefully and slide this to it. I had a heck of a time doing the first one. There is a little travel room, or a little 2 walls in here, and if you don't have it right, it won't work. There you go. Then make sure it's on your tabs. There's one. I don't know how good my camera is. Let me try to get out of your way here. I'm trying to bend this. There's a slot here and a slot there. That's where this has got to go. And you don't want to force anything, because this thing is paper thin. See? That ain't right. Gently pull it back out. Just keep on working with it a little bit. And make sure it's on your tabs. Alright. I got that on my tabs. Remember, my riser was up. Then you grab your new ones. Or my little plate. If you can see it, that went this way. Because if you're doing an RPG or whatever, probably people are laughing at me because I'm saying that, whatever it is, a fighting game, you want to make sure you put this together right. And it just sits in like that. See how loose these are right now? They will fit in there if you're careful. Just make sure, whatever you do, don't force anything. There it is. I'm still holding this and trying to keep that flexed. And see what I just did there? I was getting ready to go that way. I didn't push it. I gently swung it around the other way. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. You gotta start putting this back together, but you gotta make sure, there you go, that your pieces are still on there, because if this moves, where it's moving right there, when you start, and it doesn't line up on your little circuit board, it ain't gonna work. Alright. I got all them down. And don't get an idea about putting tape or something on there and doing that. You don't want to do that. Alright. Now, make sure your top one's set in. And then you gotta start messing with this a little bit. And when I mean messing. You gotta jiggle it. You're gonna start putting that in there. But before you even start, I'm just showing you. I'm not rushing. Some people are saying, "Oh, you forgot that your other button." No, I didn't. That goes like just like that. And it's gonna lock in there. That is not right. See, it's gonna fall off. That's what I said. If you watch my channel, I'm not going to hide anything. If I make a mistake, you're going to see it. I know I know I could watch the video and go back and see how I turned it up. Took this off, but I'm still trying to hold this because I don't want any of that popping out. Let me go this way. Maybe that's the reason. There it is. I did it backwards. That was my mistake. Goes this way. Then it should set in there gently. There it is. Make sure it's snapped in there. Now this is where you're gonna have your hardest time. At least I did. If you do computers a lot, you might not. I gotta redo that because this actually got cramped in there, and you don't want that in there. There you go. It's loose. You want that sticking out. Now what you got to do is take this wire and feed it up through this little crack. It's got to go through here and out through there to get into there. And you can't do it just, I don't know if I can take that off and do it that way. Nope. Put that back on. So what you got to do is gently separate this a little bit. You might not have to on this one, guys. On my other one, I had to slide it in. This is going to slide right up in there now. The other one, I actually had to... I have to try to see if I can rebuild another one. This controller is different. It's actually going to, that groove right there is actually going to slide. Make sure your cable is down. Alright, sorry about that. You want to make sure this is over, and then you want to gently, you don't have to put these buttons in yet. Shouldn't have to, we're going to find out. Alright, now you want to take out one screw. I'll show you that little trick in another video if you want. How you can magnetize a screwdriver. As long as it's a steel screwdriver. or made out of metal, it will work. Alright. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, I'm back. Lawnmower ran out of gas. I had to go fill it up and take care of that. Anyway, so well, get back to where I was. However you take it apart, make sure you put it back together the exact same way. That's the old one. These are the old ones. Now, the tricky part, I'm pretty sure we don't have to, but let me go get my glasses back on here. This is where it's going to get a little tricky. Give me 1 second. I'm going to change the channel here. There's a new show coming on my best friend told me about. Well, it's... Homestead Rescue's coming on in a minute. I don't know if you guys watch that. I love that show. Alright, well anyway, there we go. Make sure you put, they have right and left. So if you ain't sure, put your controller. Right hand, left hand. I'm going to see if I can put that in there. I'm not going to press hard. Because you don't want to press on this plastic, you will break it in a heartbeat. I guarantee you. This one's actually got little, there it goes. This one's got dowel pins. You got to get that on them dowel pins just right. There it is. You want to push it, make sure it's clicking. Now here, where I told you about that little white piece, you want to flip that back up. It fell down, I can tell. Flip that back up. You'll take the back of your cable. I'm trying to get that in there. Let me get it in there and show you, because it's kind of hard to do on the camera and show you at the same time. But what you're aiming to do is, there it is, put that in that slot and there you go. Make sure it's all the way down and back before you take your little white or black and push it over. That locks it in. Make sure it's level right there. Looks pretty good. Locked in. Now here comes the hard part. That I think is hard. Some of you guys might not. These little springs. You want to make sure you get your right and your left. Right. That's an R too. And this will only fit in one way. If I go to put it on this way, it only goes so far. It go in there 1/16 of an inch. Go in this way, 3/4 of an inch. Or a quarter. Anyway, and then if you look on, let me show you. If you look on here and I take my small one, there is a little teeny groove right here. You can see where my screwdriver, that's where that pin, like a pin or a needle, that's where it's got to be. This goes inside. You want it inside, not on the outside. And then you do whatever you got to do. to gently start working at your way in. That's what I said, and it is harder than it looks. If anybody knows the trick, put it in the comments down below for people, and also me. So next time it will be easier. There, that is. Try it again. You see, I got it close. And then you gotta try to start snap gently, wiggle it around, snap that in there. I got one side in, this side's not. And if you do that, that is not right, guys. I'll make sure. I don't think, yeah, that's right. I told you wrong. You want to make sure that it springs back good. We're going to take the flashlight. I don't know how much you're going to see of that, but that, well, it's actually sitting in that little groove like it should be. So that is right. I just want to try to show that to you. This one, something ain't right here. Look, see that button? It's sticking. You just rebuilt it. It shouldn't do that. Alright, that's okay now. Maybe. I'm gonna see if I can pop this one gently back out. It's not. Doesn't seem like it's sitting in there like it should. To me. See, it's not, because it gets stuck. Alright, we're going to take the baby screwdriver. I'm going to see if I can pop that out without tearing the whole controller apart. Now I gently did that, barely putting pressure on it. And still not out. Wrong one. Don't want to break it. Sorry about the mower noise. I'm going to try to gently sit that back in there. Remember, they have slots. It's got little channels that goes in. Seems alright now. Just must have been a little snag. Round 2. Grab your spring. It only goes on one side, remember. Whatever side it goes on the furthest, that's your side. And you want to make sure that spring goes down in your button. So when you're looking at that, that's almost like a 90 degrees. And then you come over to your controller and try to get it in that groove again. Get started in that groove. I found it's easier to snap the side with the spring on first. Then you come over to the other side, make sure it's fitting, and gently snap it. All buttons are sounding alright. You want to test them right now? You can push that because there ain't no battery in there. I'm testing the buttons before I put it back together. Because you put it back together and your buttons are sticking, and then you got to restart. Now remember, on this one, this side had clips. Alright, it's clipped. I got it clipped to the board. The battery. That can be the last thing you do. I'm just showing you. This right here, this port actually does not have that little lock. So what you got to do is take your 2 fingers or anything that you can. Don't use pliers because you don't want to screw. You mess up. Let me show you. Oh, hold on. You mess up that copper, pair of pliers or anything, your controller ain't gonna work right, or it won't charge or whatever this goes to. So what you want to do is gently just start it in there the same way you took it out, and just gently push it in, and make sure it's all the way in. You can tell this one seems like it went in a little crooked, so I'm going to redo it. It was probably fine. It was fine, just the way it's set. Take your battery. That'll only plug in one way. Now this is where it's going to get tricky for some people. You want to take this and lean it. Like you do it like building a house of cards. A lot of kids don't know that, but it's what we did when we were bored. We played cards when we were... And you want to make sure you're starting to get it under here. Alright. Now you got that started. Now, it's going to come back to here. If you gently take this and push this a little bit and push that, it'll fall in there. Same way over here. Gently. Now see, it popped out over here. You want to make sure it fits in there. Snap it in. Don't hit that button until you're ready to try it. Check all your buttons again. See, this one's not right. This button right here just might be the actual plastic or something might be wore out. Cause I got this is the one I got in a box lot. And they sell cases. You can buy the case. It's releasing. It just sticks a little. This one's working good. All the rest of them are working alright. I just keep on messing with it. And might be that new, might be this too. But it was sitting in there straight. Alright. I got all them working. You want to test these buttons again? Text your X and O's and check your analogs. You didn't do anything to your analogs, so you really don't have to worry about that. Now, flip it back over and reassemble. Whatever you do, make sure the screw goes in. See, that's not going in. You got to make sure it starts on its own. You never want to force it. There it goes. See how it what? Because if you force it, you can strip out them threads, and it's only plastic. I did see on Amazon you can buy new cases, but then you gotta do a lot of work to really tear it apart. Just that much. Just a tad bit. You don't want to. You do not want to over tighten these. And there it is. Let me grab. Alright. I'm going to turn you guys to the television here. Pushing the button, see if it works. I heard it come on. It shouldn't have anything to do with any PlayStation. I don't think it has any songs or anything on it. So if it does, I'll turn the mute on real quick. We're going to go to Division 2, and if anybody comments on the bottom, how good are you at this or whatever, on Division 2, I suck. My buddy's the one who got me all the way where I am right now. Alright. We're going to go and test what I'm doing. I went to bit. While I went to this game controls all these and these. It do everything. There's probably other games out there that you can test all this stuff on. But for testing purposes, I had this game already in here. And these buttons right here are them top two, right one and left one. They're out my little drones, and he helped me get them. It's gonna take a couple minutes. Then we're gonna go outside the White House and just shoot to test the controller. Because my triangle is 0, my O, square, and X All the buttons seem right. The only one that I'm seeing is this one right here. Alright? You guys are probably laughing at me now. So I do not know what I'm doing. I'll continue. That should take me to the White House. I know you guys are busting laughing. You should. If you ain't, I would be. If you can't make fun of yourself, who can you make fun of? Alright. I'm going to take all these old parts while it's loading and throw them away. There. Do it. We'll wait till this loads up and then we'll see what it does. I'll pause it so you don't have to wait. Okay, I unpaused it. It's moving pretty quick now. It's catching up. I'm only on. It's you guys laugh, but I'm probably not even on level 14 on this thing. My buddy's over 400 probably. But I am not worried about levels right now or any of that. We're making sure everything works, which these should have still worked. Because these were my factory buttons. Alright, well, I'm going to go out here. Alright, now I'm outside, I can actually shoot. This is the one that was sticking in the button itself. Let's see if it works. Okay. Now I should be able to hold that down and blow that back up. Alright, that's working. Try this one. These are the stuff that we... Alright, I'm going to blow it up. It threw it out. I don't know if this button's... It seems like it's working, but... I got a rifle, so... That's... I'm pretty sure this one was the aim. So, it might have to be taken back apart and this one checked out. This one is not communicating. But anyway, let's check the other ones. Machine gun, alright. I got them. I don't know what the O does. That reloads. The X is working. That's working. That's working. The only one that seems like is this one right here. Might take it apart and check it. Well, I was just showing you how it worked because that should be your aim button, your target button. Alright, let's check these. That's working. Alright. That one's working. Map button's working. So only two. This is a beat up controller too. It might be something with the, not the plunger, but the actual. Because remember this one sticks. But I won't know until I take it apart and check it. But you see how it's not too hard to fix these. All right. It just, it's not giving me where I can aim, but you guys get the gist of it. And I think we go into this one. I know it's in here somewhere. I'm doing it wrong. You guys are really laughing. It says L1. There it is. And a square button? No? It says it's something is not connecting exactly right, I believe. We'll try this again. Most all of them are working. Might be hitting the wrong one too. Anyway, I can hit that one now to do it. Close application. Yes. Anyway, I showed you the basics of these controllers. I'll take its controller back part and make sure that paper thin little pieces in there good. It's a little circuit board. I'm gonna power it off. Everything's working except I think that board is not, that real thin board is not sitting in there right properly. So we'll take it apart. We'll check it again. But if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down. Please subscribe and bye till later.